People should actually be able to hear us talking too.
I wonder if there's a way to find out.
Go ahead and talk a little bit, guys. Say something.
Something. Words.
Words.
All right. I need
Maybe
to
I'll bring
take
it up
my
on my
level
phone and see.
down a
Because
little
John
bit.
Hoover sent me a link.
There we
Can
go.
y'all
Okay.
actually
Now I
hear
think
me?
we're okay. I think our levels are good now. Mine was way high for a second there.
How's mine?
You're good. Yeah, you're right with
Sounds
me.
good.
Say something, Josh.
Hi.
Okay. Say something, Phil.
Something.
Excellent.
Asshole. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, if somebody posts something, or if we actually get somebody watching this thing, then I'll check it again. But right now we have one person watching, and I think that one person watching is me. So, okay. Anyways,
You should ask your questions, John.
who wants to do an intro on this thing? Phil?
Mm,
I mean, we kind of started already. I feel like maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
We
move
can always
some
add an
stuff
intro
around.
later on. We can do it the Chris Hardwick way, where Chris Hardwick doesn't actually do an intro for his podcast. Really, like him and his guests, they start talking, and usually like 5 minutes into it, you hear the guest say, "Hey, have we started recording yet?" Yeah.
So
Chris
what are
Hardwick
we
method.
talking about?
Yeah, what's on the docket?
Docket is Stranger Things. That's all I have. I don't have anything else other than Stranger Things. I figure that's enough to keep us occupied. Believe it or not, I actually I have notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
fancy.
Just from my episode 1, like I was going back through it and I'm like, okay, what did I take away from episode 1? I didn't make it as far as 2 and 3 because I ran out of time. But still.
Hey, John, just so you know, your video is like getting washed out. It's like a lot of light.
Yeah, that's this crap camera, I think. Let me see if I can do something about that. 1 second.
So, Christy, what do you think about the series? Since we are,
That better?
most of us are like 3, 4.
Now I'm in a dungeon.
Maybe halfway. A little
Halfway?
bit of light.
Half and half?
What were you saying, Josh?
So, since most of us are like almost like a third to half of the way in, does the series change a lot? Like with the conclusion? Because like it seems like there's a lot of different like storylines that are kind of branching out, and it doesn't really seem like everything's tied together at the beginning.
So is your question, does it change a lot?
Yeah, do things kind of all like come together like near the end, or
Yeah.
did you have that feeling like watching it?
Yeah. So I was super impatient watching it when I was where you guys are at, like super, super impatient. Like,
Yeah, like
What's gonna happen?
get somewhere. I want something to happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I feel, and I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but I feel like this is an homage to like 3 80s genres. So it starts out Steven Spielberg. It's eventually going to get to Stephen King,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to finish with John Hughes. That's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Whoa.
So-
It's going to be a hell of a
There's this-
finish.
There's this
Yeah.
awesome arc, and I think they do a good job. Like, yeah, it all comes together.
Yeah, okay, good. There's a lot of like little like homages to like films of that era. Some like directly in the nose, and others that are just in like the way they do lighting and like filming and everything. But yeah, I watched the first season like when it came out, and then I rewatched like half of it again, like about a month ago, I guess now. But the second season seems like it has got a bit of a different tone. But we'll see. They're added some different characters and stuff in there, which I know they have to do. I don't really care for the kind of like forced like relationships, like romantic relationships that you're like, these aren't going to last. These are just here like to kind of draw out like the inevitable relationships that are going to happen between characters. But
Yeah. I think I suspect this happened with actually the Harry Potter series, and I think it's going to happen with this series too. I think it's going to get darker the older the characters get.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. I just no, I can't talk about that because that's in episode 4.
Yeah, we probably should say spoilers. I don't know if we said that or not, but hey, if you haven't figured it out yet, spoilers all over the place in this one. We're gonna try to keep it to the first 3 episodes of Stranger Things season 2, but because that's what me and Phil have seen so far. But there's no guarantee that like somebody's not gonna slip up a little bit and let someone slide in. So heads up if you're watching this thing, it's about Stranger Things season 2, and we're gonna at least spoil the shit out of the first 3 episodes, if nothing else.
Yeah,
Don't worry
basically
about, spoilers for me.
what, Phil?
If you spit something out that I haven't seen yet, just keep going. I don't
I
mind.
can't hear you very well, Phil.
Yeah, your audio went down a little bit. Try now.
How about now?
There you go.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Yeah, don't worry about spoilers with me. If you start talking about something and then you realize that I haven't seen it yet, just keep going.
Yeah.
All right. There's like the first like scene. There is like some more gruesome stuff in this season for sure. I think the first scene for me was in episode 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So let's work our way through the first. Let's work through the first 3 episodes at least. Like,
all right, yeah.
Let's go through that way.
John. So
yeah. What you how about the very start of it? It turns out, as everyone probably guessed, since she was called 11 originally, she ain't the only one out there, and apparently they have different powers.
Right. Does that? So that was 8. That was shown in the opening, but like, nobody's really. She hasn't shown up at any other point so far, and up to episode 4.
Okay.
But yeah, then that whole scene seemed entirely disconnected from like the normal tone of the series.
Right. It was very much like your car chase scene, Blues Brothers-ish kind of like cheesy bad car chase taking place, and I guess to me it seemed like her powers are she definitely has the ability to cloud somebody's mind or control her mind, make it think like the bridge is falling, right? Because she makes the tunnel look like the tunnel's falling on the guy. And then it seemed like she had some precognition too, like she knew when to turn on different roads and stuff like that. What do you guys think for her powers?
Well, go ahead.
She can make people see what she wants them to see.
Yeah.
She can make people see what she wants them to see.
So I wonder if 11 was the only child at the facility that she was at, or if there's other groups like around like the country or where these other people are at, because 8 seemed she was much older than 11.
Yep. Much more comfortable with herself, like not, kind of new to the world like 11 is.
Right. And she definitely seemed that she had probably escaped and was no longer like with the government or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be as from like a lore perspective, I'm interested in like knowing the other histories of the first 10, or if there's other like locations, that doesn't mean that 11's the last one either.
And 8 looked like she was at least in her teens. So if you look at 8 to 11, that's 3 years. There's obviously more than 3 years between their ages.
I'm personally waiting for 007 to show up. That's just me.
How old is 11? Do we know?
How old are the kids? Do we know their ages?
What, 7th grade?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember if they're 12 or 13.
Oh, hey, we just got our first listener, by the way. We have Glistum has just joined us.
Nice.
Who is that?
Is that Dave? Yeah, Dave Holmesby, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Blue is Secret Identity.
Oh, sorry, my bad. We'll remove that from the final release when we put it out there. That's why we're on 10-second delay. I'll just bleep it out. It's fine.
10-second delay.
But yeah, that part of it reminds me of. John, do you ever read? Or Christy, I don't know if you do any comic books, but the Umbrella Academy.
No, I never have.
It's a good short like series. I think it's only like 5 issues long, but there's like a group of kids with like superpowers, and they're numbered like I think 1 through 8 or something like that. Got the exact number, but they all have like weird powers, and like the series, like they kind of get grown up in like an area like kind of like with the Professor X like sort of guy, except that like he really doesn't care about them. He just cares about their powers. So he's kind of like a papa figure.
Okay.
And like the actual series takes place like at his funeral, and like a lot of the story is told through like flashbacks to like their dysfunctional like childhood and everything. But it's got a good art style, and I would recommend that. But
cool.
it definitely gives me like vibes of that.
Okay, cool.
And I think it's getting made into a series too. Like a
so who's seen Thor so far? Phil, did you go see Thor this morning?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've seen it. Have you seen Thor yet, Josh?
No, I haven't.
And this is totally off topic from Stranger Things, but in Thor, there's a preview for a movie I didn't even know was coming. But from Marvel, The New Mutants is going to be a movie, and apparently it's going to be in the horror genre of movies, with them in like a it seems like a psych ward more than anything else, like that these kids are trapped in basically. Yeah, it was pretty crazy looking. But anyways,
it's nothing like the comic book.
Oh, nothing. Yeah, it's not at all like the New Mutants comic book whatsoever.
New Mutants, like in the back in the day, that was where Cable was introduced.
Yeah, they became
X-Force.
X-Force, yeah, eventually.
Yep. Yeah. I had like all that storyline.
Yeah, which this doesn't seem to be related to that at all. Like this is very much it was themed as a horror movie.
Oh, cool! I'll have to look that preview up.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So back to Stranger Things.
I was gonna say I've never gotten into comic books, but I kind of want to. After Jessica Jones came out, I was like, maybe there's something here for me.
There's some really good ones. I would say
you definitely have to find like the ones that are. Yeah, I mean it's like any other media. You can find like stuff that you like in it.
Yeah, you gotta find the ones that will appeal to you. Like, I know probably one of the ones I would recommend for adults, like just getting into them, would be the holy cow, I'm gonna draw a blank. They turned into a movie a little while back, not from Marvel, not from DC. Oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called.
Salad Fingers.
Not Salad Fingers, no. I know what you're talking about, but not Salad Fingers.
Is it like a film noir?
It is. It's friggin' oh my gosh.
Is it The Watchmen?
Yeah, Watchmen, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, The Watchmen. That would be like the one that I would recommend like an adult to read first for comic books would be and not the comic book I don't even know if it was ever a comic book at all, but the graphic novel, The Watchmen.
Yeah, it was initially a comic book.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Was that the one with the big blue guy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't care for that movie at all.
See, I like the movie a lot, but I think I like the movie because the graphic novel is so good, and the movie's just like the graphic novel.
Except for the ending.
But throughout the rest of it, like I would say it's the closest interpretation of a comic book that we've had ever.
Yeah.
I
thought it was done all right. I really liked it. Even if like movies are done horribly about like things that I like in movies, I still like to see them because I like to see somebody's interpretation of like what it looks like, and it kind of like fleshes out my imagination or like repulses it. But as far as comic books, Christy, I would recommend Watchmen's very good, but the Sandman series by Neil Gaiman also like top notch, like adult like stuff.
Cool. And of course you could find the Jessica Jones stuff too.
I assume that there's more to that than what Netflix did. So.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I never read any of her like books or anything.
I wasn't aware of her really at all until it came out, and They did a fantastic job based on what I know. And we have our third person watching us live, guys. It's the Nate Waldron has joined us.
I clicked on the link, but then I had to pause it and close it because it was echoing.
Yeah. But yeah, Nate is here. He's joined us now, so we have an audience. We have an audience, guys.
Hi, Nate.
So
all right. So back to Stranger Things. So how about Elle being like in the very first episode? Like, talk about not like burying it at all. Like, I thought maybe they would. I feared she'd come back, but like they would kind of hint around it, and then hey, here she is. End of the first episode. Check it out. Here's some Elle up in your face.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd said how long how much time had passed in that first episode.
I know that they showed it was almost a year.
Yeah, they showed a date at the beginning
for the car chase, and assuming that this is happening at the same time as the car chase, then it's been a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and also I don't remember if it's the first episode, but they talk about Will and when he goes to visit Paul Reiser, and like saying that it's almost been a year, and they're talking about like the anniversary like effect of like flashbacks and things like that.
Yeah, that's when I first took notice of it.
I think this is the point at which they established that they're treating Will like he has PTSD.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's going on. He just has PTSD.
Right. That's how the doctor's telling them to treat it, kind of, and how Bob is kind of treating it the same way too. Like, yeah, it's just like a typical thing that's taking place, and it's not that like this shit's really happening to this kid. And episode 3 is like where they start to realize like, hey, this is really going on.
Well, and it begs the question: do the doctors know that it's not just PTSD?
I would say the main doctor does, right? Because that dude's sketchy as hell. Like,
yeah, they're still monitoring everybody's phone calls.
Besides being a shitty scientist, when they bring him the map and he's like, "Oh yeah, shit's happening around here. That's a very pretty map you got there." Like, dude, it's your laboratory, and you've got evidence popping up around you, and you don't care. Like,
no, he's definitely trying to cover it all up.
Well, they showed the doctor going into that.
It's the same as normal operation there. I think it's just they're like they push everything under the rug, and they're going back to trying to figure out what the hell is on the upside down.
Right, and how they can use it to their benefit. That was I mean, that was the big thing of season 1, right? Was how they could weaponize Elle.
Yeah.
Well, they showed the doctor going into the basement, and then the guy in the suit going through the portal to fix some device on the other side, right?
Yeah, it looked like he was changing the battery out on like some equipment.
Yeah, that was kind of I was wondering if that had something to do with the like pumpkin patches rotting away and stuff like that. Like, certainly all the equipment that was around the battery pack was all rotted away. You could tell that.
Yeah, that's kind of dealt with in episode 4. Or kind of, there's more revealed about that.
Okay. I know one thing I've definitely noticed up until this point is that I'm sure Bob is an evil dude. Like, it just doesn't seem right. I don't trust Bob, especially as of episode 3. Like, I don't trust Bob. He's fucking evil. Fuck Bob. That's what I'm saying.
But I'll say this. In the first season, I was all fuck Steve, right? And they have a way of keeping you on your toes with characters on this show, because Steve was like a hero.
Right. Came through at the end.
In the first season. So, as I was watching it, you never know who's going to end up being an evil douchebag and who's going to be totally redeemable.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that he's not evil.
I'm going to say Bob's fucking evil. Like, there's no way that dude is not evil. They brought a Goonie back and they made him evil.
Yeah. No, it's possibly like, he came on the screen and I was like, holy shit, Samwise is here.
Yeah. Plus, he, not only Samwise, but also one of the Goonies. Like, jeez.
Yeah. But so I was really down on Steve the first season, and like I was talking with my girlfriend about it, and I was like, man, Steve is just a fucking douchebag.
Right.
And she was like, why? Like, he hasn't actually done like anything bad. Like, he smashed shit. What's the Will's brothers, Jonathan's
The camera.
and
Yep.
stuff, but Jonathan was in the middle of the woods, like taking pictures of them, like
Yeah.
kind of a creepy thing. And he might be like, he's kind of just a jockish guy, but he actually didn't do anything that bad. And then he kind of got out of that near the end. And I think that he still comes off as a bit of a douche, like in the second season so far. But then they added, what's his name? Is it Billy?
Max's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they added him, and it's like he just makes him look like less of a douche by comparison.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, there's no question. Like, I thought for sure Steve, I never thought that he'd be like redeemed as a character at all. And especially at the beginning of this season, like, he's very much like he gives a damn, and he's emotionally sensitive and all this stuff. It's like, wow, they really they are doing a good job of turning him around from the character that they originally portrayed him as.
You say that, but then he leaves his girlfriend drunk at a party by herself.
True, but she was being a drunk asshole.
Yeah, and they are teenagers, not the most rational.
Right. I mean, I could definitely see that happening. I mean, it doesn't seem far-fetched at all.
But I don't see that as being something that you could. I just don't see that you can say that he's a good guy. I mean, I don't think we can go that far after he goes and does that.
I see Steve as somebody that is going to be like sacrificed at some point, since he's like going to be like a somewhat redeemable character, and like Nancy and Jonathan will end up as a couple at some point.
Yeah, he doesn't seem important enough to continue living throughout the entire series, maybe.
Right.
Like,
right.
Yeah.
They're kind of like having him there as like a placeholder and to provide some character development, but also provide a reason for Nancy and Jonathan not to be together.
Yeah.
I think they do a really good job of making all of the characters complex, though, because they're playing off of our tendency to think about one-dimensional 80s characters, like the guy with the good hair who was a douchebag and thought he was too cool. And then they go and make people subtle and complex. And it's really interesting because we all have these biases about who these characters are going to be and who they are.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
Shout out to Glisten, who literally, at the same time that you said he has nice hair, he posted, "Come on, Steve has nice hair."
Who said that?
Glisten, Dave. He just has perfect hair.
Yeah, and we all hate him for that, and we think he's going to be a douche. But Phil has good hair, and he's got some gel in there, and he's awesome.
Well, yeah, but he's part cyborg. It's not the same thing, It's not like a human having good hair.
Yeah,
said it before. The reason I know that artificial intelligence can evolve into a human-like state is because of Phil.
Except you will never have the chance to prove it.
I won't?
No.
Why not?
No, because I won't let you.
Like, how would one prove that?
Well, that's a good question, and that's something you'll have to try to figure out. But I'll
be right back.
Okay. I think it's just proven by the fact that the cyborg that you were in the Navy now has like a long-term girlfriend, and like you give good hugs. Like, I don't know.
I give good hugs. I've
You
never
do.
been a hugger.
Huh?
I've never been a hugger.
Yeah, you save it up. You don't spread it around.
Me neither, Phil. I've never been a hugger either. It's just not like me. Shut up.
I mean, even with Josh, I mean, I've known Josh for how long, and I'm still not comfortable giving Josh a hug.
Oh, that's because you're homophobic, not because you're not human.
We tried to work on that on the ship.
Yeah. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. First week I was on the boat, freaking Savage walks up behind me and grabs both my butt cheeks, and I literally jumped in the air. That was not a very good start.
Yeah. I like the story that I hear about you coming into birthing with your towel up here. Is that a
That
real
never
thing
happened.
Like, you came out of the bathroom and, like,
That never happened.
had your towel up here?
Alicia, if you're watching this, you better shut up.
Because you're modest.
It's
okay.
I am modest.
Yeah, he's trying to. It wasn't that he's modest. He was trying to show off his legs.
Oh, cyborg legs.
Josh, you have a creeper in your backyard or something like that? Yeah, there's somebody back there. Okay. Nate posted about him. Back my right, probably your left, I guess. Way back there.
Walk past.
Yeah,
it's a park. It's actually a park for the Templars. So like, there's people back there sometimes.
Templars.
There's like a civilian out there. They have like, I don't know.
Are you forming your own Templar society and you have your own park for them?
Yeah, well, it's Good Templar Park that's back there, and they like you have to like give up all like vices to be a member of it. But they have like cabins like out in the woods that people like live in, and there's like an old Viking ship like that you can go and visit and stuff. But
where
normally,
are
like,
you?
the Midwest. Normally, there's like Boy Scouts and stuff like that.
Okay, Garrison Keeler. Like, what the hell?
You have a Viking ship in your backyard, basically.
Yeah, it's
pretty
you
sure
can't
I
see
just
it.
heard. Yeah.
Well, the view is beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah, it's nice. I don't really have any neighbors except for the weird people in the cabins.
That have given up all vices, so that's not so bad.
Right. There's a pack of coyotes that live back there too, so at night they're like normally like howling and stuff. It's pretty great. I get possums and all sorts of stuff, creatures in my backyard.
That's cool. We just get gators and what are they called? Shoot, I'm not gonna remember the name of them. Similar to raccoon, but it's not nocturnal. They're out there in the daytime instead. I can't think of what they're called at the top of my head.
Nate?
Coatls or something like that, I think. Nate probably knows what they're called. Anyways, but they're they're similar to raccoons, but they're
like the Mexican raccoons.
Yep, exactly.
They,
That's
like,
exactly what it is. Yeah. First time I saw one climb a tree in my backyard.
Cuda Monday, I think.
Yeah,
or,
Cuda or Quaddle or Coodle or something like that. I think there's some other name for them too besides like their formal name.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw one climb a tree, I thought it was a monkey at first because it was middle of the day and it didn't look like a raccoon. It was off. It was too long to be a raccoon. I saw it go up. I'm like, okay. There's no monkeys that I'm aware of in Florida. I have never heard of a monkey being in Florida. So unless one got free, it's not that. And
we
then
talked about monkeys in Florida last time I was on this podcast.
Right. But that's a specific spot. Like, they aren't anywhere else. Or at least they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, they're confined.
They're confined, yeah.
So I've...
go
ahead.
It wasn't... I'm looking at it some more, and I'm like, maybe it's a lemur? But that doesn't make any damn sense. There's no way there's a lemur in Florida. Like, that'd be a big news story if there was a lemur in Florida. And so I'm going online, and I'm like, oh, there it is, yeah. And so that's what it was. It's a crazy kind of raccoon thing, except not. Yeah.
Not a nutria rat?
No. It is. It looks like a kind of a raccoon, like size and everything. I saw one down in Mexico on the Yucatan, and this like stupid tourist was like feeding it pizza and like giving him pieces, and then like he like put his hand down to like just see if it would come up and like let him pet it, but of course the thing thought it had food, so
of course he got
bit the guy's finger.
Yeah. That's of course that's how the story goes. So swinging things back around to Stranger Things, Dave wants to know, what do you guys think of the addition of Max and her brother to Stranger Things 2 so far? What do we think of Max and the brother, whose name is I forget?
Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah,
I think.
Billy. Billy's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he fits in. He seems like he doesn't. I mean, he's supposed to not fit in. He's supposed to be like an outsider,
right?
But like his character just seems like a little bit too extreme, maybe.
So I actually made a note about Cali Guy, as I call him, because I didn't know what his name was. I didn't know it was Billy. that he instantly reminded me of the California guy from Remember the Titans and Kaneki from Grease. Like a combination of those two things as soon as I saw him. If you've ever seen Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Like, clearly meant to be a douche, and obvious, like, you couldn't have a character that screamed, like, hey, I'm from California more than, like, that guy when he comes on the screen. Like, it's beyond obvious. He's, or at least from the Pacific somewhere. Pacific Coast.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be redeemable.
No, it doesn't seem like it. At least not at the end of episode 3. It doesn't seem like it.
No, he gets...
Not based on that so far, but you know he's not her brother, right?
He's your stepbrother.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, because in episode 3, I think it is that he says, don't call her my sister.
Yeah, that's the only thing I heard.
Yeah. He digs a deeper hole in episode 4, too. So
Okay.
I don't see it.
I'm not terribly surprised by that at all. It seems in keeping.
I think, like, he's definitely playing the role of, like, where, like, Steve was kind of borderline, like, this is a bad guy, a good guy.
Yep.
And now this guy's replacing that.
I do like Maxine. I think Maxine's cool. Mad Max.
Yeah.
I love that she had her thing on Dig Dug as Mad Max, for one thing. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well done, Maxine. Well done. I like it.
Yeah, so I picked that out, like, first episode. Glistam, you'd be proud as the spoiler for picking up on this. But, like, so in the first season, they were playing the D&D game, and that whole, like, little campaign was basically like a parallel for the first season.
Mm-hmm.
And they started playing Dig Dug in the, like, first episode of season 2. And I'm like, they're going to be digging, or there's going to be something underground, or there's going to be something that involves, like, this. And so I'm not sure yet, but since Max is good at Dig Dug, she's probably going to be have some crucial role in, like, the group dealing with the ground. But we'll see.
Fair enough. That'll be cool if it does happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at Christy's face and read, like, the smile. I think you're calling it right.
I can't, like, I'm just being super quiet, you guys. Why'd you invite me to this party? I binge watched the whole episode with Josiah.
Trust me, I wanted to. I just didn't because Katie's been trying to catch up. And I was finally like, sorry, hon, you're not watching it fast enough. I've got to watch a couple of episodes, but I'll wait for you. So I'm going to try and hold off watching the rest of it until she can catch up to me.
Yeah, I watched all of them. I watched 1 through 4 last night. So.
Oh, wow.
So, like, it's all, like, one thing to me. I really didn't.
Right. Yeah, especially with the ability to skip the intro now on Netflix. Oh, yeah, it makes it really easy to, like, binge watch it and have it all flow together. We don't have to watch that anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. I just watched the first 3 episodes yesterday afternoon on the plane.
Yeah.
Jen wants to see it, but I wasn't going to wait for her. So I'll watch those again.
Can you guys remind me, like, did they show Barb's body in the first season? Like,
yes.
They showed it in the Upside Down.
Yeah,
she was, like, cocooned, right?
Yeah, I don't think they showed her necessarily dead per se.
No, you could see her face. She was dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Was there a cocoon? Is that right?
She was, like, behind that.
Eventually, she wound up in a cocoon, but when they first showed her, her body was in the pool. There were vines everywhere. It was at the Upside Down, and you could see her face. But then later on, they showed her being cocooned by, I don't know, something.
Yeah, because I remember thinking that she was going to come back as one of the monsters in the first season. Like, I remember them doing that to her, and I was like, oh yeah, she's going to come back. She's going to be one of the creatures, obviously.
But that's not really a device in the story, is it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it hasn't. Not yet. It hasn't been.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I recall that because I think everybody was, like, hoping, we should get out.
Yeah, and I know I thought it was pretty closed, but I didn't remember exactly how closed, like, it was, but
Okay.
Card.
So yeah. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm like still waiting to see Barb show back up, but not quite be human anymore, maybe or something.
Could be.
I kind of figured that they would just let that storyline go, but they brought it back with their parents.
Yeah. Very much
Yeah.
so, yeah. And I don't feel like they're going to do the zombie thing. Like, it doesn't seem like she's going to come back as a zombie. Doesn't seem like it keeps with the show. So it's something else is going to have to happen there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So I have one minor complaint that
Okay.
I think is valid. So what year I'm trying to remember what year the Nintendo Entertainment System came out?
I got one. I got a Nintendo with a power pad. I think I was 6.
I was going to say 87 maybe?
7 or 88.
It seems like 87 to me.
So
We can find the answer to this question.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
I'm on it.
I'm gonna talk. Somebody look it up.
Okay.
So like for a long time, like games are for boys. Like has been like video games are like a boys thing.
Right. Forever.
And that really
basically.
started because when Nintendo started selling the Nintendo Entertainment System, Toys R Us was like the major or like just entertainment provider for toys and everything. And they had boys section and a girls section, and they had to pick like an area for this thing to be sold at, and Nintendo picked the boys section. And
1985.
1985.
Wow.
All right.
Okay.
And since then, like video games were for boys and not for girls. And before that, with Atari, it was always like a family thing, and there really was no gender like difference. And this takes place in season 2. It takes place in 1984,
Right.
before the Nintendo came out. So I don't know how. I maybe it's just that arcades were more for boys or something. But like the fact that they're surprised that Max was a girl and like played video games, I like called bullshit on. Like
Okay.
But
That's a good point.
that could have just been like boys and girls. Like I don't know.
I wonder if there is, because I kind of get it too, but then I wonder if there is a difference in the games that girls versus boys played.
Yeah.
And the fact that she had a high score on a game that they typically didn't have girls playing. You know what I mean?
When
Yeah.
in my house, it was me, my next younger brother, and my younger sister. We were all just 2 years apart, and she played just as many video games as we did, the same games. There was really no difference between us. And I like that you said a family thing, because my father was actually playing some of the video games with us, although he's usually stuck to the tanks and planes thing, combat.
Yeah.
My brother and I, one of my fondest memories is my brother's 3 years older than me. We used to beat video games tag team all the time. So the original Zelda, Mario, we had the power pad with like the Olympics game.
Yeah.
Like, we would stay up.
The track and field.
Yes, track and field. We would stay up entirely too late all summer
Stupid track and
long,
field game.
beating.
You would just be on your hands and knees and like.
I know.
Yes!
You'd be beating the shit
Yes!
out of either your controller, or I guess it was a gamepad, wasn't it? Yeah, you'd beat the running
power
pad.
pad.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then with our Super Nintendo, so Super Black Bass, we would stay up all night playing Super Black Bass, beating that. Me and my brother.
Me and my brothers would. My sister never really played it all. So my sister's the youngest. And I think part of it might have just been the fact that there were 3 older brothers that were all fighting for the video game system already. And Kimmy didn't stand a chance against the 3 of us. Probably was part of it. But we would play. We would compete all the time in every game that there was. Like in Sonic, we would see who could beat the first levels of Sonic the fastest. Like, and we probably played the first level of Sonic 100,000 times between the 3 of us to see which one could be the fastest at beating it. You know, it was always competitive for everything.
We were never competitive with each other. So we would like hand off. We would play one-player games, but we would like hand off. Like, oh, I can't get past this molten lava pit.
Oh,
Maybe
no.
you can get past this molten lava pit. We were very collaborative. But my brother and I
that wasn't happening in my house.
weird relationship. We've always been pretty close, as long as his friends weren't looking, and then even when they were looking later. So
Honestly, I
never had one growing up. All my friends had. I had to go to my friend's house to play like Nintendo.
What about like Atari 2600? Did all of you have one?
No, my older brother had one. Like he's like 20 years older than me, so he was like had like his own like at his house that I would go over. I think that was like one of the first like games. Like,
my aunt had it, and I think she got it like secondhand, cheaply from somebody, so that when me and my brothers and my cousins would go over there, we'd have something to play.
The Atari 2600 is the only video game system that I've really ever loved. Ever since then,
Really?
Yeah. Like
Really?
Nintendo was fun. It was all right, but I never had one for myself.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, like I love the Nintendo. I think the original Nintendo I loved when I was a kid.
Well, it was such a revelation when we got one. Like it was the craziest. It was so different because I'd never had a game system before, and I was obsessed with Tetris. Like personally, I was a ninja, and now I make quilts, so maybe there's a thing. But like, I was like some kind of idiot savant with Tetris. I could play for hours.
Apparently, Nate had the Sears knockoff Atari 2600. That was a thing, I guess. So Sears must have had a knockoff one at some point.
Yeah, they licensed the product out so you could get like other companies that made like not Atari brand Ataris.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Interesting.
Yeah,
and you can also download them to like iPads and stuff now. And
yeah. Or get the Nintendo Mini now, right? Like I've been well. I don't want to say it.
There's an Atari. There is an Atari Mini. It's like the same with like the wood like vinyl. Like it's like little tiny thing, same size as like the Nintendo Mini.
It's so crazy, like how technology changed. One that I realized about a year ago was I remember when Josiah had this crazy gaming system to play World of Warcraft online. Like he built his own computer and it had to have a lot of power and all this stuff. And now he plays a knockoff of it on his phone sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I finally got a gaming system again. I bought the Xbox One S earlier this year. It's the first one I've bought in forever, and I actually bought that because of Bob Coggin, who was on the ship with us. For those of you that weren't in the Navy, he was in the ship with the other four of us. He was talking about Fallout 4 and the ability to set up your own power grid within Fallout 4 and build like all the structure and defenses and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, I kind of want to try doing that now. I kind of want to check this thing out. And so I like started looking into it. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks like fun. I ended up getting an Xbox One S and that game specifically so I could start playing it. So that's the first video game console and game that I've bought in quite a while. Besides
I didn't know
Civilization.
Bob was a gamer.
I didn't either until he posted that. So
yeah, but these things are getting so incredibly complex. I mean, even starting with the Nintendo, I mean, it was like the Atari 2600, except now you had two buttons. And that was
too much
that was
for
a little
you.
too complex for me. Yeah, I couldn't keep up.
It's pretty crazy now. You have how many buttons does the Xbox One have? Both joysticks, plus the thumb pad down here. So you have two joysticks, and those each click on their own. This thumb pad, so that's 7.
You got 12 plus the joysticks.
Plus the 4 finger buttons. And then 4 other buttons, so there's 8 there. So yeah, like 15 buttons or something like that. Plus a start button and a menu button that they've brought back. So it's like
old.
17 buttons or something, some shit like that. 17 things you can click.
I can't even. Oh my god.
Does it have a touchpad also? I know the PlayStation does.
No touchpad.
No, yeah, I got a PS4, and that's got like a little trackpad like on the main thing. It's pretty much useless. Like nobody really does anything with it.
We don't have one. We don't have a game system at all right now.
So guys,
PC.
Bring it back around to Stranger Things. Who do we think is because we got way off track. How about the conspiracy theory guy, Murray Barman or whatever his name is? I'm pretty. Sure, I think he's gonna die. Like I think the whole reason that dude exists is to die eventually.
So he only shows up like once so far.
Yeah, like, season 1 at the very beginning. I think talking about the Russian chick that's been around.
He was in season 1.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, not episode 1. Season 2,
Oh,
episode
okay.
1. Yep.
Yeah. And he is he the same detective that Barb's parents hired? Is that like the same guy?
I
or
was
is that,
wondering about that. I don't think we've met the actual detective yet.
is that a different guy then?
'Cause they say that-
you know, like what we're talking about.
I think
They mentioned they're selling their house for the investigation.
I think it is the same guy.
Okay,
Okay.
that was kind of what I thought, but it like I wasn't sure. They didn't say his name or I didn't catch it.
Yeah,
Well, they do
Dave
have
confirmed it
his
for us.
business
That is the
card.
guy.
All right. I think that that at least as like a narrative like reason why he was there in the first season, our first episode, was to show that Jim was covering up things because he was kind of like he definitely knows all about everything, and he's covering up everything so that the lab like keeps things out of the town. They keep things separate, and
You're talking about the sheriff, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, yep.
Hopper.
I got the
Yep, Hopper,
I
yeah.
got the impression that he was just there for an easy segue into some of the conspiracies, because I mean he's like any other conspiracy theorist. You know, he got so much shit that he's spewing, and then you've got little bits of detail that are true,
right.
and so he's doing
Classic
the same thing.
X-Files.
Right. So some of those little bits are leading to L, and
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
you know what?
So I was trying to
he's not
remember,
very
how did
unique.
he first meet L? How did Hooper meet L? How'd that happen?
Definitely
didn't
in the
get to that.
first season. I'm looking at the synopsises on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I got it up too.
Yeah,
I-
because
it
they
happens
obviously knew it, because he saw her in the woods,
It
and he was
happens
like,
near the end, like the last couple episodes.
okay.
But yeah, that whole narrative with like Elle basically, what's his dead daughter's name? Is it Sarah?
Sarah,
Sarah.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely him filling that
Yeah.
void with Elle and
I would hope it was because of the daughter, because keeping a young girl out in the cabin in the woods by herself with only you
Yeah,
together,
it's not gonna go well for him at the end of it all. Like, yeah,
this is the 80s.
a little
It's
sketchy, man. That's true. It is the 80s.
I will confirm that it is a daughter thing.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Hopper's not a
Thank
child
you.
molester.
Thank you.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going there, but
Yeah,
So-
that goes way beyond a John Hughes movie. Just
Oh, hey, the title itself. You know how it's red and outlines.
Yep.
That reminds me of something from the 80s, but I
it
can't
reminds
remember
me
which
of the font you would see on a Stephen King paperback,
Yeah, I can see that.
or a similar like horror genre paperback novel.
Well, the detail of the 80s is what I was kind of noticing this yesterday. Down to every little detail. I mean, you look at the soda can that Bob was drinking.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the bottom rim of it is that sharp
Yeah,
edge.
it's an old steel bottle
Yes,
or iron.
not the soft rounded aluminums that we have today.
Mhm.
It's just amazing how much detail. Where do they get all of this stuff, or do
Yeah.
they manufacture it
There was
somehow?
something else that somebody was like eating. It wasn't the KFC plug. There was something else that I was like, the if you guys saw it, the Three Musketeers wrapper. It was like
the old
really
school one.
like white with
Uh-huh.
yeah, that brought back memories.
Yeah.
But yeah, the attention to detail is pretty great. Oh, speaking of which, first season, there's a scene with Elle inside the lab space, and like back behind her is this like it looks like an oven because it is. There's like an old, like, doesn't mean anything to anybody except for me who works in the university and we have all this old equipment. There is a like brown like oven that we use at work for just drying things out. It only gets up to like 150 degrees. It's the exact same oven that's in like in the shot. I gotta go back. I took a picture of it at work yesterday, but I'm gonna go back and post it on Instagram like side by side. So like
that's cool.
Our oven's famous.
That's pretty cool. So how about the creature? The little the pet. Is anybody else just waiting for that damn thing to bite the kid's nose off? Because I know I am. Every time he puts it by his face, I'm like, dude, you're gonna lose your nose. He's going to bite you.
Yeah, Dart. Right?
Yeah, Dart. Yeah, D'Artagnan.
Yeah.
Awesome name, by the way. Love it.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, it came from the Three Musketeers candy bar, but it's fine. D'Artagnan, fantastic name.
Yeah. Things happen in episode 4 with it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I know.
I'm trying to remember if it's 3 or 4.
Yes, they do.
So what do you remember of it, Phil? Because I know you've only seen episode 3. What do you remember of Dart so far?
Just that he was growing and sprouting legs. And
Okay, yeah, I saw that part.
Yeah, because he's escaped. Right?
He escaped.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he escapes. He sprout legs and he's hiding him under his hat. Right? Is that all in episode 3?
Yeah.
Or am I getting into 4 now? I've lost track.
Yeah,
yes,
I think it's
yes,
got him
because
under
at
his
the
hat.
beginning of 4,
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
all the other kids are still looking for it.
That's right. Yep, I did see that part. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, 4 opens up with them looking for the thing still, obviously, which makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, except that the guy that should be like caring the most about it, it's just like, hey guys, like, oh, what are you doing? Oh yeah, we should totally be
I
looking for
guess
him.
we should dig in this trash a little bit.
Except I don't think it's going to attack anybody. Oh wait, well, you've already indicated otherwise.
I don't know.
Okay,
I feel like it's going to. I feel like it's going to take somebody's face off at any
I
moment.
got the impression that
Nougat.
that he was not going to attack anybody, and it's just going to try to grow until it could destroy everything. But
Yeah.
I feel like it's
I may
going to
be wrong
develop a
about
taste
that.
for somebody's nose instead of nougat. It's going to replace nougat with nose.
I have reasons to believe otherwise now, but I initially thought that this was going to be a monster that was going to be like on their side and like, but, and maybe they're going to like just throw you like things for a loop, but something happens in like episode 4 where you're
Okay.
like, I don't like this monster anymore.
Okay.
Uh,
And you said things get gorier in episode 4, so I feel like maybe I have an idea of where things
yeah,
are going.
it might be connected.
It might be connected.
It might be connected.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I actually didn't care like for that part.
They have a cat in that house, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Huh, look at that.
Yeah.
I was wondering how long the cat was going to live.
Yeah, that's a cute cat.
Yeah. I had a feeling when I saw like the tiny creature getting bigger and, oh, there's a stupid orange cat in this house. Maybe one of them's not long for this world, one way or the other.
Yeah, the turtle's okay. There's a scene like I don't know if it's
I like how Chris is just smiling.
there's Dustin's mom. There's a scene with like her feeding the cat in episode 4, and I think he's feeding the cat like cereal. It looks like I don't know if you caught that, Christy, but it looks like she's feeding him like Fruit Loops or something. It's like out of like a cereal box. It's dry like cereal, and it's a weird thing.
One of the things that I get, like, because I'm a therapist and I have issues, one of the things that I note starting in episode 3, is like the relationship between Dustin and his mother. Like, he is his mother's caregiver. This kid basically takes care of his mother. She's just kind of out there.
Yeah.
So
Well, they show a lot more about the parents in this season, don't they?
Yeah, they were kind of absent in season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the Goonie parents in season 1. Just not there, really.
Yeah, it reminds me of my childhood.
Mine too, a little bit. I mean, but these kids are significantly older than me because, like, I was born in '81, so I didn't turn 10 until '91. So I remember the '80s, but I didn't. It wasn't quite. We lived in an apartment complex, so we did get to run around like a lot. Like everybody knew who we belonged to. It was kind of a self-contained little neighborhood in a way. But
Yeah, I was born in '80s, so I'm very much a child of the '80s. But they are still a couple years older than me at that point. Because they must be like 12 now. I feel
at least
it seems like they're like middle school students more than they are.
Yeah, they are because they have
they have lockers, right? Yeah, so they got to be middle school.
They're definitely in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Nancy was a.
Steve is graduating. He's a senior. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's a year younger than him.
Yep.
So she's a junior this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have been a sophomore last year. And I forgot what the age difference is between.
So they're probably in 7th or 8th grade. And I think 8th grade, you're going to be like 14.
Yeah.
So it's 1984 and they're 12.
Yeah.
Which means they were born in
72, right?
72.
If I'm doing my math right.
Yeah.
Am I mathing
72.
correctly?
Yes.
You've mathed.
So in reality, they're 10 years older than me.
In
I
reality,
was born in
yes.
75.
9 years older than me.
Yes.
I was born in 75, and I'm very much a
we
child
get
of
it,
the
old man.
80s.
You've seen some shit.
Damn, Phil, I didn't know you were that old.
Youngins. One of these days, you'll grow up and understand how much patience I have to deal with you.
My oldest sister was born in 71. She's 10 years older than me. So yeah, she's their age, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. So I got something to bring up about Zombie Boy.
Okay.
How the hell did they play off like they found like Will's body and had a funeral,
Right.
And then they don't really, they just the kids I think mentioned that like they played it off as some other kid that died and like was like super rotted.
Yeah.
Like
that
just seems weird. Like they would have been, I don't know. It seems like there should have been more about that.
Yeah, how is the New York Times not like at the front door knocking on it, being like, "Hey, we heard that the federal government came and did an autopsy on this kid and misidentified him, and the mother just misidentified. Well, no, because she never signed. And then the kid reappeared a week later. Who is the dead kid, and what the hell is going on here?"
Yeah, so that's definitely part of like does the facility have a name? It
does, yeah. But it's not anything that's specific, really. It's like something scientific, like it's the county name or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they showed the sign in front this season.
Hey, Dave wanted to correct you, Phil, by the way. You weren't born in 75. You were created in 75.
Yeah.
Just some
clarification.
Insensitive to correct him. He believes he was born.
He was booted. He was booted in like.
I think he was, what is birth really? And
he was he transitioned from alpha to beta code and
Wait, what about Terminator, the AI there?
Skynet?
What
came online?
Skynet. Yes.
Came online.
Yep.
Born,
Phil came online.
created, what? I mean, it's all the same.
That sounds dirty.
Sentience. So there was like a Phil beforehand that was a slave to his masters.
Yeah, there was the non-sentient one.
Wait.
What version of Phil are you?
Oh, crap. Now I have questions.
Yeah, when robots start asking questions, that's when bad things happen.
So how about the scene where Jonathan is talking with his brother, who's like trying to help take care of Will and all this stuff and make him feel better, and and the question of who would you rather hang out with? And I forget who the one artist was, but I know the other one was definitely Bowie. Would you rather hang out with we'll say Neil Diamond for the sake of this conversation, Diamond, or would you rather hang out with Bowie? And that whole conversation, I thought that was an awesome, like, just moment in the thing because, you know, it's all of us that he's talking about. Bunch of strange assholes.
Yeah.
But I really like that scene myself.
Yeah, I think I actually missed like most of that scene. I went up and got like a drink and came back and caught the end of it, so I didn't that was like they were talking about being misfits.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's exactly what it's about. It's about wanting to hang out with the guys that are weird and strange versus the normal folk who are too boring to want to even deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Bob just goes off on his boringness.
Yeah, right, yeah, and Bob is there like as the foil of like, you know, here's this dude.
What song was it that he was obsessed with? Like, I love this song. Like, they were making fun of the song.
Oh yeah, it was.
He's like, oh my god, I love this.
It was that artist. It was whoever that they were talking about. All right, where's Nate? We need Nate to give us some feedback here. Nate, if you're out there listening right now, who was the artist that he was talking about? Although Nate probably hasn't watched the show yet, if I had to guess. But it's David Bowie and somebody else. As we all Google.
Yes. Let's see what else.
I like that
you got anything else from?
I like that we don't have episode breaks to go to commercial. We have episode breaks to go to Google, where it just gets dead quiet. Everybody vanishes.
To have all the information. You guys remember back in the 80s when we didn't have access to anything and this conversation wouldn't have gone anywhere? We would just talk and been like, yeah, I'd like to know that.
We would have just made it up is what would have happened. We just would have like been like, oh yeah, it's definitely this.
Yeah,
It's
nobody be proven wrong.
It was definitely Johnny Cash, for sure. You know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got, John? You got anything else from the first episode?
Those were my big ones that I made a note of from the first episode, I guess. Or my big thoughts on it up to this point. I don't know. What you guys got?
I was a little disappointed by their costumes. Nobody wants to be Winston. I mean,
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that too. Like, Winston's not a bad dude. You know, he was the he was funny for sure in the movie.
Yeah.
You know, he had some moments.
And he's definitely got one of the most memorable pranks by Ghost. I mean, they're in the tunnel and they're yelling out their names. Their names get echoed back, and then Winston yells out something, and the ghost comes back with Winston. You know, I mean, who does not remember that?
Do you guys think there's going to be
Apparently, everybody.
some Stay Puft Marshmallow Man like homage like later on?
Maybe. I mean, so I'd like to watch the Halloween episode again and see how many different characters are referenced from 80 movies during the course of that.
Oh, yeah. That'd be
right?
good.
Because
Yeah,
I know
I like
the one
that
that stuck in my head was John Belushi's character from Animal House as the guy that's getting drunk. Right? The toga party?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Belushi's character.
The guy was like...
Was it Bluto or something like that? What was his character's name in Animal House? I just think of John Belushi because he basically was playing himself. It's not like he really played much of a character.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
But yeah, so him. Let's see, who else was at the party there that I saw? Who's the chick that was Jonathan was talking to? Kiss. That's right, or at least that's what he thought. I wasn't really convinced that was Kiss though, because the makeup didn't look right. I thought maybe it was supposed to be something else.
So, what do you guys think about the smoke monster? Lost.
What?
The smoke monster, the giant,
the lost creature. Yeah,
yeah, like that Will keeps seeing. That enters his body.
Well done.
Enters him and lowers his temperature. By the way, by like 3 degrees or some shit like that. Like, dude, take him to the hospital right now. Your son is dying as you sit there and watch him.
Yeah, there's a weird like. So you saw when the beginning of 4.
Yeah, I guess that might be the beginning of 4 where his temperature's way down.
Yeah, she draws a bath for him.
Yeah, that's like where I stopped watching. Was there like when she's drawing the bath? I think.
I thought it was like an aversion to water at first. Like he said, like he had like rabies or something, like like rabies, like people like don't like
Right. Okay.
water. But like I guess
Hydrophobia.
yeah, it's so I guess it's a temperature thing that they, but also Dart does not like warm.
Right. Doesn't like the bright light. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
kind of how you can tell something's from the upside down. Is it doesn't like bright lights and heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's when they rule him out that he's not cold-blooded because he does not like the warmth or light.
So that was the other thing that struck me as odd was them when the scientists are like, oh, it's a burn day, and they're going into their little room, and their way of containing all this is with a guy with a blowtorch, just torching the stuff that happened to ooze out that day.
Yeah, I don't understand. I guess they're just trying to like prevent like the growth, like, but not kill it off, so they can like conduct research and stuff.
I guess, yeah, it was.
I guess like from there, like it'll keep growing out.
Yeah, because I guess I'm trying to think. In the first season, they had the room there too, where it was at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that whole floor was all filled with like the dust motes. Like whenever they filmed, like
right.
Whenever they had anything down there. And which brings me to another thing. Like there's other entrances into the Upside Down.
Right.
Like, there's the hole in a tree.
There was the one in the school.
There's the one in the school. I'm assuming that those are closed up.
I mean, the one in the tree closes up on its own, right? Like I think we see that close up because they can't get back out through it, right?
And so I don't know what's doing that. Like Elle like makes it bigger to get back out.
Yeah, she just starts destroying the world basically.
Right, she just walks off then, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know. So maybe that they have the technology to actually close it up if they wanted to. Like maybe the government came in and sealed that, and they could do that inside the laboratory, but
they're choosing not to. Maybe, yeah. And then they're sending people into there to change a battery without any appearance of like security or anything like that. You already had one dude die. Like, did they forget the guy that had a cable tied around him and they drag it back out and it's a bloody mess? Like,
well, that was. I mean, I guess that was just the Demogorgon that was killing everybody in there. There was nearly no evidence of more than one creature in there from the first season.
yeah.
So I assume that they know that or something. That's kind of all pretty ambiguous as to
It just seems
who
like
knows what happened and all that stuff.
right, because they clearly haven't explored the space at all. It just seems like you're asking for, which I guess maybe that's an 80s movie montage of like, hey, this horrible thing happened, and we're going to keep doing the same thing again, and we'll see if more horrible things keep happening to us.
We're just gonna keep putting our finger in it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I got burnt the first time, but maybe the second time.
Well, it's a different group of people running the that area, right? I mean, last time it was a bunch of FBI guys researching it, trying to learn about it, and they didn't know what was going on. And now it seems like there's a group of scientists.
It's the scientists now, right? Yeah, and Dave pointed out that they're not super competent, as we've seen, in their abilities. So maybe that has something to do with it. I mean, they're not quite Navy nukes, let's be honest.
Like the one guy
Where
listening
are they?
Yeah, right?
that was very the Jurassic Park moment when the guy's like sitting there. Like,
Yeah.
he just looked like very.
Yeah, the
very
big
much-
guy with the headphones on, not paying attention to what's going on
Yeah.
with the panel behind him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like that the panel's
Nothing like a nuke. Nothing like
Right.
somebody falling asleep at the panel.
Nothing
Nothing like that.
Oh, what time for logs?
What's happening?
Huh?
Oh, I have taken logs in 4 hours. Oops. Let me do something about this. Yeah, it would never happen. Oops.
No.
Rest assured, America, that all those nuclear reactors are under
Yeah.
serious supervision at all times.
I've never started up a nuclear reactor drunk. That's never happened.
I'm trying to think of who it was who on their last watch at the they were doing some kind of maintenance on INC, and they let me shim. They just let me shim. It may have been Jerome on his last
I believe
maintenance
that.
item. He let me like all mechanic me. I went to say hi to him down in the reactor room. And
Yeah,
he's
reactor
like,
room. Yeah.
"You want a ship? You want a ship?" That shouldn't have happened. Not
Probably
qualified
not.
to do that.
Not quite, but it's all good. You know.
We're also not qualified
Was it-
to shim with our butts. But,
Was it
that's-
was it Belina that had the shim switch break off in his hand?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling somebody that story just the other day. Actually, I was talking about that.
I
Yeah.
wish I would have seen that. It would have been great.
I was
I
up
was standing-
I was on the bridge when that happened.
Really?
Yeah, I was up there as like the bridge nuke or whatever that's supposed to have a clue as to what the hell's going on down below. And yeah, I was totally there when.
There's a bridge nuke.
Yeah, there is. It turns out. Yeah, I was up there for it during. I don't know if it's just when we're initially leaving port or what, but yeah, I got set up there
I
for
forgot.
communications
Yep.
between. I guess it must have been Central and the bridge is what I
Yep.
was up there for.
Yep. Yeah. So the
Mechanics never get to do any fun stuff.
It wasn't something I wanted to do. It was definitely a stabbing of like, hey, go put on your dress blues or dress whites or whatever the hell I had to wear while I was up there, and stand there for like 4 hours while we really don't do anything at all except for a shim switch breaking. Yeah.
I started up the other plant, so I had to just sit there until they fixed the switch, which was how many hours after I was supposed to be off watch?
I know
That-
what I was telling the person about the other day was we were talking about like military news stories, and I was talking about like the news story that came out after that and how it like didn't match at all what had actually happened, like some bullshit, not true at all excuse they had given for like why we really didn't leave port on time. Not talking at all about the fact that, oh yeah, the control switch for the nuclear reactor broke off in somebody's hand.
Oh, hey, so Bob, the two artists Bob mentions is Kenny Rogers,
Okay, yeah, yep,
and then he goes and starts saying he wants to watch Mr. Mom.
yep.
Oh yeah.
That's what it is, yeah. Good stuff. Bob's fucking evil. I know he's evil. Just waiting for it. He's a fucking Demogorgon in disguise.
Like, I don't know if his speech to Will about like, he should like, but his
Yeah.
he should like stop and like stand up to it. I don't know. He just comes off as just wrong.
It's
Like,
just off, yeah. Like, it's not quite right. There's something...
Remember
Yeah.
when they were watching the movie and then the phone starts ringing and the way they film it, it's all creepy and sinister. And then he just says, it's probably just a crank call to ignore it.
yeah.
And
One thing
I
you
got-
got to keep in mind is that Bob does not know what happened.
You
well,
should watch the first season.
You should really watch the first season. Like, how do you start dating a dude and you're like, so remember when my son was missing in the woods for a week? Actually, turns out it was a monster. And he's
Yeah,
probably-
he doesn't go to like the doctor with Will or
No.
anything.
Uh-uh. But you would think you would still have, like, some clue of, like, hey, something really fucked up. Because you'd hear all the rumors in town.
Yeah, and he obviously knows that like telephone like bothers what's Winona Ryder's character's name?
Joyce.
Yeah.
Joyce. Like he knows that it bothers her, but like there has to have been something that it's like, now I just have a fear of phones. Like I don't.
Yeah,
It's-
like... And he's, like, supposedly, like, a semi-technically competent guy. He works at Radio Shack.
Right.
And back in the day when you worked at Radio Shack, you had to have a clue.
Yes.
So...
Well, yeah, but that's also means that he's a nerd and he's oblivious to social interaction. And
There is that. It could be that. Maybe it is all...
But I know from
Will is just
experience.
basically blacking out and having nightmares. So he's like, oh, confront your nightmares.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
could be very benign.
Or he could be evil.
I'm thinking that he's part of the group that's researching the thing and wants to see what happens.
Yeah, I totally don't trust him at all. There's something else going on there.
Yeah, there's not a lot of trust for any of these characters.
No.
Kind of.
I really liked, so I think it was episode 2 when they kind of talk about what happened to Elle and how she got out and how,
Yeah.
I don't know.
They
I
show
thought it was
her
really touching.
climbing out
In
on
the
her
woods and
own
stuff?
and then trying to go into his house. That's right. She goes to not Will. What's the other?
Mike.
Mike goes to Mike's house.
Yep.
Sees him with the FBI guys, and then kind of like vanishes into the woods.
Yeah.
And then attacks.
Which I thought that was weird too, because like the FBI like is straight up lying to everybody, saying that like this is a Russian like plot.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's strange for the FBI to lie to everybody?
No, I don't think that. I think it's weird that they're lying to people that are directly related, and I guess that they don't know the kids know more than they do or something. It's all very hard to know like everybody else's like perspective and how much they've actually talked like off camera, basically.
I think that all the parents buy that bullshit. Well, so
Yeah.
Mike's parents.
Yeah,
that.
Mike's dad is pretty great.
Yeah, he's pretty oblivious. I think it's in keeping with the time period, right? Where everybody, you know, Cold War, blame it on the Russians, stuff.
Yeah, I like the Reagan Bush and who was running against Reagan and Bush in '84? Was that
Dukakis?
Dukakis?
Was it? Is that it?
Seems like it to me.
Shit.
I remember the first like mock election I ever participated in kindergarten was Reagan versus Dukakis, and I voted for Dukakis because I thought his name was awesome. Just sounded like poop.
There's worse reasons to vote for somebody, as we've seen.
Huh?
There's worse reasons to vote for somebody.
Yeah. Still, so my 5-year-old kindergarten decision was better than many people's decision in the last
As
election.
supposedly grown adults, yes.
Yeah.
Let's get off that topic.
Yeah. Before we go down that rabbit hole too. Yikes. Yeah. So I don't know what else we got to talk about, guys. Anything?
I was going to say, though, that when you guys mentioned earlier, like the love stories and how they're kind of not, you know, like why they're just kind of superfluous.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I kind of buy is the original one, which is Elle and Mike. Like, I think that one, I think he's absolutely in his little 12-year-old brain.
Oh, yeah.
Totally in love with her.
How about
and vice versa?
How about her little jealous moment with Max and trying to take Max out?
Yeah.
Like, damn, girl.
Yeah. Well, she's learning emotional regulation.
Fair enough. Clearly.
She's been kept inside cells and made feral by the woods for most of her life, so, you know.
Yeah, hopefully that stuff gets resolved. Like, something I don't really care for, like in movies, of like the stupid, like
the forced romance,
understood like romance things where somebody sees like somebody else, like, you know, consoling somebody, and they're like, and then like it's a whole thing the rest of the season or movie. But hopefully that just gets resolved.
Isn't that like all of anime?
You would know, Phil.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I think they do a good job. Like this show would pass the Bechdel test. It does have lots of. You don't know what the Bechdel test is?
I think I do. That's the I don't want to call it the feminism test. The women talking to women, right? And having their own, being treated as real people versus like just a plot support device for the male characters.
Well, already
Right.
I don't want to know any more about it.
So the Bechdel test is the movie has to have at least 2 women. The women actually talk to each other about something besides a man.
Yeah, pretty
that's
easy.
the Bechdel test.
It's pretty simple.
And it's, if you think about it, there are a lot of movies where that doesn't happen. More and more it's happening. But, yeah, Elle's going to have important shit to take care of other than trying not to stab Max.
So
because-
Nate pointed out a moment ago that we were wrong about Dukakis. Dukakis was 88. Mondale and Ferraro were 84.
Okay. Yeah.
Good
that
job,
would make
Nate.
sense because I started kindergarten in 87. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Well, yeah. That's all I've got. That's all the notes I had from first 3 episodes. It's all I know. new season is definitely awesome. Like, I'm enjoying watching the hell out of it. I want to see what happens with their little pet if it eats somebody's face.
I still want to know if it turns into that giant creature.
Yeah, the Demogorgon.
Yeah, or is it already there? I mean,
Or is it going to turn to Slime Will? It came out Will. Is it Will's baby?
wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like an alien hybrid of like Will and
And the Demogorgon, it's their baby. Aww.
Ew.
Ill. Oh my God, ill.
Although that makes it a lot creepier
It's
from
like
the
Will.
first
Looks like
season.
Will, but he's got a
If you
sphincter
assume
for
that Will was impregnated by the Demogorgon, it gives the show a whole new twist. It's a lot darker now than it already was.
So it was coming inside Will.
Oh.
Way to bring it back, Phil. Has your mind been stuck there
And on that note,
the whole time?
Oh,
Yeah, I have. So it's the
No.
Hawkins. It's the Hawkins Laboratory. That's
Okay.
the
Yeah.
name of the place.
yeah, I knew it wasn't like anything special at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
is it just me, or does the giant creature kind of look like Cthulhu?
Yes, I definitely got that vibe. Like the first time it like showed up on screen, and like you saw, I think it was Will walking outside of the arcade, and I'm assuming he just sees into the upside down. He's not actually physically there.
But the thing kind of attacked him. The cloud creature attacks him.
Yeah,
Gets to him.
but the other kids still see him like in the real world.
Yeah.
Like they go to him, so he's like able to interact in like both like dimensions.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, he goes outside the arcade and you see like the storm, and you can make out like the creature. It's definitely has the vibe of an old god, like coming down.
So Dave points out that one of the things we need to do is once we've seen all the episodes, we need to get back together and discuss
Yes.
what we had right and what we had wrong here.
Yes. Has Dave seen all the episodes?
Yes, he has.
Dave, have you seen
Yep.
all the episodes?
Yeah, he
Okay.
has.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm sitting here. I've seen all the episodes, Dave, and I'm just like, I shouldn't be here. I really shouldn't be here because I just want to spoil the shit
Having
out of
to
everything.
censor
I just
yourself.
want to ruin your day. I just,
So are all of the episodes of this season released?
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the way Netflix does it. They drop them all at once.
Yeah.
So I can't
Okay.
get together next week, you guys. I'm actually going to Missouri for
Yeah.
a Wounded Warrior Project retreat. They're paying me for that. Kind of amazing.
Nice.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
They're paying me a lot.
Yeah. But I
So
should.
yeah.
I'll be finishing it up probably this week.
Yeah, I'll probably finish. Well, if I need to catch Katie up, that's the thing, because she does want to watch it with me, so I gotta get her caught up.
Yeah. So I'm watching Mindhunter also. Like.
ooh, we can talk about Mindhunter. Ooh.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen it
that's
yet,
pretty good
but
so far.
Katie's said I have to watch it with her because she doesn't want to watch it alone. So
She doesn't.
I think I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm pretty happy with that so
Yeah.
far too.
and we can talk about Thor too. If
Yeah,
everybody
I
sees
See
it,
that.
I'll go see it. I might go see it this weekend.
yeah,
I
it's
might go see
good.
it.
It's I
Yeah.
would say it's the best Thor movie so far.
Oh, good.
Uh,
I didn't really care for the trailer. Seemed a bit like, I don't know.
They changed
Over
his
the top.
character quite a bit to make it like it's much more comedy heavy than the previous ones. have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have him with a much lighter touch than his previous kind of like stoic type Asgardian attitude they used to have.
Right.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny parts in it. They were saying that it's supposed to be like the best Marvel movie so far. I don't buy that. Like, there's no way. It's not as good as Iron Man. I don't think it's not as good as
Iron Man's still like that first Iron
yeah.
Man's. Like,
and Winter Soldier
Not
is a
like
fantastic
nostalgia.
movie too. Like, it's
Yeah.
not as good as Winter Soldier by any means, but it's good.
I like
Yeah.
the first Captain America was really good too. I liked it was like a period.
Yeah, I'm not a big Captain America fan. He's never been like.
No, but I like. We'll get another change. Do you guys see the new Spider-Man? Like, I think
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. Yeah, have you seen Spider-Man,
Yeah.
Christy?
Mm-mm.
No.
I really.
Yeah.
I loved the stupid like Captain America like PSA like things.
Yeah, so in the movie, Christy, they have scenes of Peter Parker watching the gym PSAs that they used to have in high school days.
Oh.
And the PSAs are all done by Captain America, and they're all like the horrible 1940s like filming, and it's now like 2000s. They're still watching this crap. So yeah.
Ah, that's cute.
Yeah, and the after scene like credit for that one also was great because like you're waiting there like for like all of the like post credits like scenes to happen, and after everything's done, finally like Captain America walks out, and he's like, "I'm here to talk to you about like the value of like waiting." And like sometimes like it makes things better, and sometimes it's like for nothing, and like just kind of like that's it.
Just kind of stands there and stares at you.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. So maybe I'll go see Thor this weekend.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's everything we got to talk about this time. We've been at for about an hour and a half now. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, time flies.
I'm sorry I couldn't talk more in this one, you guys. I love talking, but
no, we'll get back together.
That's okay. We'll do it again once we've all seen them all, and we'll say what we were right about and what we were wrong about. We'll talk about how Bob was an evil asshole, it turned out, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I think you're totally right, John Hoover. He's an evil asshole.
Bob and Billy.
Oh wait, before we go, who do we think's going to? Who do you think's going to die? Everybody go around. Who doesn't make it through to the end of the season?
I know who I want to die. But...
Okay, besides who you want to die, who do you think dies? Who you got, Phil?
I feel like one of the four main boys should die.
Okay.
I don't know which, but
yeah, I don't know if they do that. I think Paul Reiser's character is going to be around. He might be like a bigger story arc, like villain, or he might just be incompetent and get killed off by his own like stupidity. I
think Steve's gonna die. I got my money on Steve kicking the bucket. So, Christy, you're not allowed to have a vote on this one. Sorry, Christy.
Nobody dies. Everybody dies. One of those two things is true, or not.
Or not. Or maybe. Yeah.
So, maybe. Josh, you think Billy's gonna die?
Yeah. Something happens to Billy. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Steve yet, but one could hope. He's not that bad, apparently.
Apparently.
I just had like this sort of realization about this that I think, like everybody in this series is fighting some kind of like figurative or literal monster. Like everybody, every single character. And I'll leave it at that. Every single character.
Tigger votes that the cat's gonna die.
Puppy!
Right, buddy? Yeah. Is the cat gonna die? Yeah, it is. Yeah. Hi. The cat's done for, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode, and you guys, Josh and Christy, we definitely appreciate you guys taking part in this. And this has been another episode of the Blue Elephant Brigade podcast with Phil Hernandez, cyborg extraordinaire, Josh Schwartz, fossil expert, Christy Lefke, our in-house psych, and me, John Hoover.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Bye.
And bye.
And wrap.
Are we still live?
We're still live. I'm working on it. I'm not there yet.